We are in that strange week between Christmas and New Year's where nobody seems to really know what to do. Kids are not back in school yet. Most people are not back at work yet. Some people are still on vacation. And even those that are back to work are not really back to work. You're in limbo for the entire week between Christmas and New Year's. I'm not a big celebrator of New Year's. As far as I'm concerned, it's just another day on the calendar. But this week is one of those weeks that, since it is kind of a limbo feeling that you have, or an aimless or directionless feeling that you have, it's one of those times where you feel like you can plan things, get ready for things that are coming up, things along that line. It's also the time of year where a lot of people make resolutions. Last year I had a video where I talked about resolutions that I was going to make for 2021, and I think I sort of accomplished those. We're going to talk about those in this video. The two main resolutions that I made were, one, to stop saying the word "ah" so often when I'm making these videos. And for the most part, I've been pretty successful there. I've rehearsed, and occasionally I came up with a script for some of these videos. You would have a hard time telling anyway, because I started editing it out again. There are a few times where I did edit out pauses or "ah" or an occasional "you know." So even if I did say it while I was producing the video, you don't know about it. So I'm going to put a check mark next to that one. It's something you have to stay on top of, though, because if you're not careful with how you talk, then it's easy for placeholders to slide back into things that you say. My second resolution for 2021 was to read more John le Carré novels. I reread the Carla trilogy, which, as you know, is Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. That's the first book, followed by The Honorable Schoolboy, and then Smiley's People. I think I mentioned that in my video last year when I was talking about resolutions. I reread those three books. I also read Absolute Friends, which for me was a new book by le Carré, although he wrote it several years ago. So as far as the two resolutions that I made last year, I'm going to check off both of them and say mission accomplished. You may be wondering, okay, what's in store for 2022? First, these videos are going to take on a new look gradually throughout the year. I'm going to be writing more scripts, probably doing more in-studio type stuff, so that I'm going to be able to up the so-called production values. So there's that to look forward to. My second resolution for 2022 is I'm going to double the number of subscribers that I have for my newsletter. Now, the newsletter that I write is for my company. It has nothing to do with being the international Bigshot, but it's open, it's available to anybody that wants to subscribe to it. It's absolutely free. If you're into topics that delve into sport development, then this is the newsletter for you. There's a link to it at the bottom of the screen, or a link that is in the notes. You can click on that, check it out, and if you like it, you can subscribe. I'm not going to tell you how many subscribers I have now, but I will tell you next year if I'm successful at doubling the number of subscribers in 2022. It took me a whole year to get to where I am now, but it's nothing to get excited about, so I'm not going to tell you how many that it actually is. Maybe next year, if I'm successful, I'll let you know how many I actually have. This is one of the places where I walk a lot. I'm on the west side of Carbondale, over near the old West Side Fire Station and right next to, I think it used to be the West Side Playground. Right now it looks like a football, soccer / baseball field. And there's a small playground for children right next to it. I walk here a lot. This is part of my either 8 or 10 kilometer route. No matter whether I head north or south when I leave the house, I usually end up walking on this road at some point. It's in town, but it gets practically no traffic, so it ends up being a really pleasant part of the walk. This is the part of the walk that I really like. I'm walking over, still on the west side of town, by the way, and I'm walking behind the Pennsylvania Armory, Army National Guard, I think it is. There is a road that goes by here, but this is a path that, I don't know, some kind of vehicle has gone through here before. And I think that people walk through here. I discovered this a few months ago, earlier this year. Also, a lot of animals use this. I've seen dog tracks, deer tracks, and although I hate to admit it, I think I've seen bear tracks here. Everywhere I go now, whether when I'm out walking or riding the bike, I'm always aware that seeing a bear or encountering a bear is a possibility. Last year in 2020, I was riding my bicycle down in German, Pennsylvania, a small town just south of here. And I came across an intersection and further down the street, what I thought was a big dog actually turned out to be a bear. So people went inside, the police came, and the policeman looked at me and said, "You should probably leave." Of course, I agreed with him because I had no place to go on the bike, and I'm not sure I can outrun a bear on a bicycle. But ever since then, I have been aware that where I walk or ride, it's possible that I'll run into a bear. I'll let you in on a secret. Sometimes when I make these videos, I get back to the studio and what I've recorded is just so awful that I trash it and have to go back and do it another day. Hopefully that won't happen today. Let me show you what I'm walking on now. This is where I have to really watch my step. This is one of those paths where they're covered with grass and rocks and a lot of loose rocks. So when you're walking on this, no matter what kind of weather it is, you've got to watch where you're stepping. If you like these videos, think about subscribing to my channel. You can just click on my picture right over here at the bottom of the screen. Or if you want to see more fabulously interesting content, just click the next video, which is right over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.